Arena currently within the top 3. Match number 5 is here. Last 2 games on World's Edge in Space Station, The Guard, and a few others, BR Demons included, enter the chat as we get ready for game number 5, an opportunity for them to sneak into the top 3. Can they do it? We'll find out. Tiff, Vicky, take it away.
Thank you, Paula. I was excited. You know, after coming out from EMEA, I was expecting a different bit of a pace, but it's fine. We're jumping into game number 5, my favorite game of our series, because this is the point in time where a lot of these squads, especially the squads sitting on the second half of the overall leaderboards, have to figure out what they gotta do. We're gonna see the 50-50 again? Are you kidding me? Tripods last time, and it looks like they're already winning the fight in the 50-50 versus Sentinels again.
I mean, this is going to be one of those moments where you're going to have to question everything. Senox, last person standing. Last time it was Lou, now it's Senox. Tripod's just getting their reps and finding themselves within the top 10 here and feeling confident after winning these 50-50s. Now they're just looking, hey, where did Senox go? And with Nick Merckx on the Seer, you know they are going to track this man down.
Absolutely. Tripods are going to take that free KP too. You know, if Sentinels want to escort themselves right back to the lobby just as quick as we entered this game, then by all means for Tripods, they can take on any KP that they need as necessary, because it's one of those teams that are still trying to get themselves right back into the overall top 10. They find Lou at the same time as we take a look real quick at the map, the overall map, to see where our squads are going to be landing, where the circle is going to be pulling. And it is another northern circle. Are you kidding me? Climatizer again? C9 are eating good here because they have no excuse. They got the beacon, so they got the information, and they got the positioning if they play for it.
I mean, could you ask for anything more? I mean, we usually always have Southern Zones and World's Edge. We're not going to get the Skyhook ending that I was asking for during that EMEA broadcast, but this is another contest that we had over in the tree. It's going to be Sign Us, Please. They're still alive. They went out a little bit early on after this 50-50, but Slept On had lost this contest. But so far, both teams up and at 'em, a true 3v3 fashion, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to work, because Psycho right now with that Sentinel in hand, not really the gun of choice that you want for a close range 3v3.
And this is the part here too where we saw Tree also earlier on contested by TSM, by ESA, that wanted to show face in that third party. Sign Us Please, though, taking some shots by a different squad over to the side, are looking to start making their rotate here. I know by launch site, LG like to land there, so leaving where that beacon's gonna be, they could get with this fight happening over by Tree. A Space Station are also getting some shots taken at them. They had an amazing position in that last game. I'm wondering if they could replicate the same, as they have to traverse through a lot of ground on World's Edge to get to the top of Climatizer.
Yeah, Space Station currently sitting in 5th place overall for the day, looking pretty solid. But Furia, a lot of things to kind of look for out of them. We have his Watson finally returning, and they're finally starting to win some of those moments. The issue is the timing. They had that solid fight against TSM and then got immediately third-partied by Optic Gaming in map number 4. So over here at Landslide, I'm looking to see, hey, maybe we can put 2 and 2 together. They had such a strong showing at ALGS Champs. I know they have it in them. We know Watson is a true grinder, streams maybe 15 to 18 hours a day on that rank grind.
Ooh.
Sending out some damage, able to grab a knock onto Bronzy, but gets tagged up himself.
I was gonna say, you played that much out here, you gotta land those wingman shots, and he absolutely did. He delivered, and he hits Bronzy up in the head, as EA also in the feed, lighting it up, taking down Reeds. Fury are looking to fully extend onto first attempt, who were caught off in the rotation, trying to exit out of Landslide. Fury said, no way, you're gonna come right back into our open arms.
Oh, yeah, and they're just cleaning it up, finding that onto an Amigo, and just really unfortunate that you're just going to have this brawl out into the open vicinity. But the issue about taking fights out here is that there's nowhere to go. You have no cover. This fence that's in front of you is not going to save you, and that's going to be all they wrote for first attempt. Some nice KP that Furia is able to get themselves, and not a bad start.
A KP that they need here too. As you can see, they're sitting 15th overall after their performance on Storm Point, just being a lot more lackluster than they were expecting. Now Fury could really shine on a map like World's Edge, where they feel way more at home, very similar to a lot of our other squads that are finally able to secure a lot more KP. ESA, though, did rotate towards Tree to see if they could get a nice little cheeky angle at some of the teams that were rotating out on the outskirts of Tree. And now they're going to be able to see that there is nobody there right now, at least for what they want, and they want to prioritize their positioning, so they're just looking to go for a quick rotate rather than take their time on the outskirts of the circle.
About prioritizing your positioning, ESA gonna have to hit the road and hightail it. They've got the long rotation towards the north side of World's Edge, but I just gotta give a shout out to the whole thing. Phony, Capra, and Luda, they are performing so incredibly well here today, finding themselves in third place, but this is the spicy part of the map. You have to rotate through Harvester, which is pretty much the death zone of World's Edge, but TSM in the skies right now, you can see right now just getting absolutely tagged up.
And I love how TSM learned their lesson from the last game, said we're not even going to hang out on the outskirts of the circle. Instead, we need to fight for this real estate as they try to dive in up to Hell. He's alone for just a brief second before Res makes an appearance.
Oh no, not one of these buildings again. And this is gonna be tripods, the ones that are gonna be taking the hand into TSM. Reps falls, but Verholst able to get a knock on to Nick. So getting that trade, Verholst using the knockdown shield to go ahead and hit the shields back up, going for the reset onto Reps. I like this move. They have all the information on when tripods are going to push back into the vicinity, but who is on the outskirts of the building again?
It's Optic Gaming, and they've taken on top of Pride Rock with skill takes, taking a nice little cheeky angle while the rest of Optic Gaming get involved in this fight. But Duplex falls incredibly low now as he's forced to get some extra cover. Here comes a communication, though, that I love. Look at Skittlecakes wrapping around to the left side so that way he can keep Duplex in his line of sight so he can apply some extra pressure while Duplex has forced the reset.
This is awesome because you've got Atlanta Premier. They are also finding some success in getting some downs onto the tripod team. They are just like sharks in the water for this building. You do not want to find yourself in these buildings. And look at the distance. That's going to be the guard with the charge rifle in the hands of Rambo, just putting some work down onto Optic Gaming. If you're going to find yourself out into the open for a little bit too long, you just have a beautiful little snow-capped hill that is going to shield yourself for that res. Able to get Skittlecakes back up on their feet and get a clean reset, but you know that you cannot repeat this because the guards got you in their sights.
Yeah, you saw the crypto drone flying right above their heads. Is it going to be a clean reset for them before that crypto drone grieves them in their shields with an EMP? We're going to have to see because it looks like they're just prioritizing just information to figure out which of these squads have already taken control over this building. This is the beauty of crypto. You're also going to be able to get the beacon just as quick without having to overextend and give up your own building. And with that, they're going to get some extra information. That's as far as the drone goes before the guard are just going to be able to stay put inside of this building.
Yeah, just trying to find as much information as possible. And every time I glance at the elim feed, I'm just seeing another member of a different team, this time Verholst, with that charge rifle in hand. So I feel like if you're going to have anything that's going to be kind of meta, quote unquote, it might just be the charge rifle because you are basically able to find some success. And look at Rambo right now as well, one in hand with that 3x, a nice scope of choice for them.
Yeah, it's not the machine gun that Rambo's pulling up with. It's the charge rifle instead, but it beams you like it may as well put you in the microwave. ESA with the G7 in their hands. You see Capro now trying to cut the rotation off that squad. Wonder if that squad is struggling a little bit as they rotate to no man's land. Maybe see if they have an opportunity to scan that beacon that's over there. Because north of Geyser, you could expect that beacon to be heavily contested by any squad from Fragment East all the way up to the southern part of the map.
Yeah, and look at the rotation. Phony putting out the heartbeat sensors, looking for some information. Slept on, just kind of chilling in the nearby vicinity, making sure they're also equally checking on their rotation in. But that's great that they were able to kind of get out of those early contests and make their way. It was such a long journey up from the tree vicinity all the way to that north zone again. So all of these teams that are like, come on, where are my south side end zones that I'm so used to on World's Edge? Because they usually would have the upper hand in that. But now they've got to have all these mid-game fights. But look who's on the screen in a nearby location. It's going to be Luminosity looking to continue their domination.
Luminosity hailing right over Sign Us Please and the other squads that are rotating in that direction of No Name. It's a fight for that beacon because information is key out here for Luminosity, especially looking like they're rocking the Caustic. Pander's also getting the knock onto FaZe. Unfortunately for Snipe Down now, having to play at a disadvantage. Hopefully the FaZe clan can actually reset real quick before they're forced in a third-party situation.
Ooh, and that's not where they want to be. Snipe Down already down. Bubble coming out from Max. Now you've got a bubble fight, but they're going to win that one. Finds the knock onto Watson, trying to clean it up. The issue is they've already fooled Snipe Down, and Help is just within an inch of their life. And Furia barely coming out on top, able to grab that shield spot before it, able to... But it's not going to be enough. 100 Thieves out here putting the work in. Well-timed third party. Oh, man, my heart.
And what's great here is that 100 Thieves usually plays by the edge of the circle, so what a great position for 100 Thieves to be in. Right time, right place to follow up and capitalize off that third party. There's another squad right below them, though. I'm wondering if they're going to get picked up by that Valkyrie passive. Yes, they do. Believe that may be E8 that's on the northern side of that circle, as 100 Thieves are looking to get on top of this building, taking a page out of Space Station's book on the other side.
Yeah, you are completely accurate in that call out. We recently saw Space Station on the roof, but 100 Thieves gonna drop down and reposition themselves. Look at the Watson fences catching the prey.
Oh my goodness, let's go in for a listen in an intense fight between 100 Thieves and the squad that's taking up the real estate inside the building.
I'm going here.
Ooh, a piece of candy.
Woo. Do you want to play in the
Play on me for now. We're gonna need a wall here. Gonna need a wall.
Like this.
Bit awkward.
A little bit awkward.
Ending here.
Yep.
Stop staring at me. Is this house free?
Yes.
I think we
Knockdown,
just stay
need your
anyways.
knockdown. I didn't know you had a blue one.
We're gonna need maybe not a wall here. I don't know. We might need a wall here. Depend. Jen's gonna go. We're gonna need a wall here. Out on that side. I'm Baltic selling.
How many cells do you guys have?
I'm gonna place Jen here for now. Next wall's got to be this way. How close?
I'm only at 40.
I'm wondering if we go up that height.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
That's
There's hard holes down here though.
No, we can't. I saw someone go there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're running over right now.
Buster, over there.
It's a rampage on the pack.
This team's trying to get angles. The Fuse team over here. We're gonna break a wall. How close? How close?
Watch it.
I'm at 60.
I'm safe on me. Safe on me.
I'm going inside. Safe on me as well.
Careful inside too.
Moving my mobile shield. It's gonna take a little walk this way.
You can hear the comms coming in from 100 Thieves while they get pinged in two different angles, one on the high ground, one to their side here. But I love the comms and the confidence coming in from 100 Thieves. Well, they are looking to make a complete turnaround after the results in the first day of their performance in the ALGS.
Yeah, and I love that they're kind of focusing on the need for the walls to really anchor down these open POIs. They are sharing that gold helm to try and get that Newcastle up to speed. We said about 60%, but they are just going to get fired upon. We saw the Watson already lose their Jenny quick, and the wall is now broken because when you've got multiple teams firing down, it gets destroyed pretty quickly. But Luminosity currently sitting in first place, 56 points, holding this bridge, and Niesel on the Caustic able to anchor it down with the gas traps.
Luminosity having Niesel on the Caustic is always so interesting because we've been seeing so many of these Watsons, but instead Luminosity opt to utilize the Caustic and the Caustic traps, but he gets beamed from behind. You gotta watch out with these charge rifles. I'm surprised he didn't get beamed right there, but that's gonna be the green light for that team to possibly push in and close in the gap. Luminosity needed to cover his back.
Yeah, Yanya says, I got a charge rifle too, buddy. I'm not going to let you just punish my teammates for peeking. But TSM trying to make their way out. They are nestled into this building, trying to put the finishing touches. That's going to be Oxygen Esports and Optic Gaming in front of them as well. This is a little bit dicey. You don't want to find this, but what you do want to find is reps with that Mastiff in hand.
Oh, but you don't want to see Skittlecakes down here for Optic Gaming, leaving Optic as just a duo between Duplex and Nux. You see the black market on the high ground that they can also use to their own advantage, but they're playing off the side. They're trying to cover all these different angles. At least with Duplex alive, they are going to be able to have the passive heartbeat sensor from the Seer to give them enough information. As you can see, TSM trying to sneak their way through to look into the windows.
Ooh, I like any cheeky angle that you can get. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of these teams are so good at. It's utilizing the windows, utilizing the little crevices that they can. I've seen some insane plays come from it, but that's what you got to do sometimes.
Necessary, as you can hear the crypto drone just floating right above TSM's heads. Could be the guard who are still stationed inside one of those buildings off to the outskirts here.
We can cruise over here.
You see, they're also sharing that building with Space Station and C9, who were getting some cheeky Arcstar kills, as well as Optic Gaming are just looking to see if they can wrap around. Can they get Skittlecake's banner is the question.
The question indeed, but the question is, even after they get the banner, are they going to be able to stick the res? Once you get into that late game, it's almost impossible to bring your team back. We saw what happened to Vaxlon earlier on in a Storm Point match, just basically feeding another kill point to an enemy team, and TSM nestled into the donut building. We heard the comms flying out in match number 4, kind of, we need you to scan the donuts, make sure that no one's in the donut buildings, and honestly, it made me really want a donut, but Luminosity taking insane damage from the thermite, but Yanya doing everything that they can to go ahead and hit that bat early to make sure that they are kind of healed up and utilizing those Nox traps to go ahead and control the space.
The fact that they were able to force their way on the low ground here of this building is also incredibly impressive. And with the Caustic, this is great news for them because they just need to inch their way slowly with the Caustic throws, paving a path for themselves and the rest of Luminosity. But they got to get rid of Atlanta Premier's Watson fences. And if they lose out on the fence, it's not like they can create more because unfortunately for Crook, he's not in this roster anymore. He's not in this game. And it doesn't look like Atlanta Premier were able to get his banner either.
Oh no, not what you want. And Luminosity just kind of trying to answer back and able to grab a knock onto enemy, but there was a trade. Hill grabbed Yanya, but they have the numbers advantage in the form of Luminosity, and Measle still up, can throw Nox traps down so they can go ahead and go for the res on Yanya. The ability of Caustic in these buildings, it's just second to none right now.
Yeah, it's so difficult to try to contest unless an EMP from a different squad comes in. Let's say the guard who's been rotating around with the drone. This could be insane for Luminosity to get this free building. They clean up that member of enemy here, and they're going to be able to clear up the rest of this building. One last straggler, though, from that squad before they back away. It's going to be Atlanta Premier running away, and Luminosity Gaming now have all of this extra loot and that free building. Atlanta Premier, though, with just Hill, takes care of Sinus Police as a solo. He got away in time. He was the one that also had the crypto. Like, he could have used to his advantage versus those barrels, but he couldn't do it in time.
Oh my gosh, now Hill, the IGL for Atlanta Premier, last standing, trying to get the Phoenix kit off with basically just a barrel and a dream just nestled inside that storage container. And Luminosity looking so strong down here on the low ground. Yanya, Vicky going off with the charge rifle, just really controlling this area. This is what you have to do. If we're going back into that north zone, Luminosity has fought and clawed their way, and they are saying, hey, we are coming out on the top end of this day. They just need to keep it consistent. They've had as many as 15 eliminations in one map throughout the day.
It's actually crazy to see how Yanya has popped off all day today with the rest of Luminosity. Double-digit kills alone going in favor for Yanya, like we saw in the overall kill leaderboards. They're pinging aggressively. The squad that's still playing off the low ground. I'm wondering if Luminosity is seeing this as free KP, but do they overextend to get there?
That is a gamble. Anytime you overextend, you're running that risk of getting caught out into the open. And when you don't have the mobility, you've got Caustic. Yeah, the Horizon has mobility, and Valk can kind of finesse a little bit, but you don't want to lose any members of your team. You're running an area, like a composition, where you can control a location. Look at Optic, though. This is the first time we're seeing them kind of make their way in towards that end game, but that crypto EMP is going to wreak a little bit of havoc, and they're still a duo.
Yeah, their best placement was to 7th place overall in this entire day. Yes, they're playing this as a duo, but sometimes you got to count your blessings, especially when there's 11 squads left. Space Station, though, fully sending it. The PK with only a white shotgun choke here as Dropped forces his way into this building like the Kool-Aid man, and now they're going to be able to take up all this extra space inside the bottom part of this building.
Can I get an oh yeah for them? Space Station out here with the fences and Luminosity. We looked away for 1 second, and next thing you know, they're finding so much trouble, and Measle last alive trying to stay and make it happen, but it's going to be Optic that's going to finish out Jaguars and Co. But they have found themselves, when they get off the high ground, they're basically an open season for the rest of the lobby, and everyone is looking at them.
They didn't rotate fast enough. They had the high ground originally. They just needed to find an opening to rotate in, and I guess they got cut off, and they dropped on top of the heads of Optic Gaming, who've been playing this passively as they should as a two-man. Now TSM losing out on reps. That arcs are perfectly placed to add in some of that extra pressure. I can only imagine what the comps are sounding like right here, but how it gets out of the line of sight of the Seer Tactical so he can actually pop that med kit.
Yeah, this is going to be hard because you see Optic on the low ground, still alive right there, but the TSM going to go ahead and try to get the res off before Caesar Tactical tries to come through and eliminate that as well. But Season going to leave the lobby now, 7 squads remaining, and This is going to be troublesome. I do like the fact that they have this bridge to kind of work within this staircase to provide a little bit of cover, because it's kind of hard to shoot through a staircase in Apex. But those incoming Arc Stars, shout out to the teams that are making it to the end game with a lot of ordnance.
Yeah, that's 100 Thieves on the high ground here, too. You know that Guard is playing right underneath them, so is C9. 100 Thieves over to the side to try to contest Optic Gaming that are playing off the low ground. Again, a very similar circle to the one that we just had in game number 4. This time it's 100 Thieves, though, on the other side of Climatizer that have the high ground. TSM, can they pinpoint Optic Gaming? Where does Optic Gaming even go? I mean, the only other option really is either risk it all for the Biscuit to take that zip line into the hands of 100 Thieves, take the Skyward Dive, because you don't have the Horizon Gravity Lift to put you up on the high ground.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. The fact that 100 Thieves is still alive, that wall coming in absolutely clutch, and the fence is coming out from Onmu. This is going to help solidify this positioning, but we've seen how aggressive these teams are in the lobby, where they just get full sent. Teams are not shy of aping the behind the fences, but the question is, who's it gonna be this time? I do see a fuse ult in the middle of the map as well, and the Guard just trying to keep it alive from the cover of their shelter.
You saw that dupe goes down at the hands of Hal, but they split up just in time because the last member Optic Gaming has managed to make their way over to the side of Dubelie. That's knocked in TSM. Look at the desperation play right now. They're forced to play off this low ground. Noct finally gets finished. You saw his death boxes fall out of nowhere. And that's going to be at the hands of Guard. C9 as well, cleaning up, getting involved in that fight. They're going to be able to fully send it up, but it's only up to Kaon. It's the Guard that get eliminated. C9 having a chance, but it's at the hands of E8 that they're facing off against on the back end of this building. 100 Thieves versus E8, while TSM are still forcing their way into this next circle. Only 2 left. TSM get taken out. It's only up to 100 Thieves, and they finally come out on top. The consistency is alive for this team, and they are patiently waiting in the corner with that Newcastle.
That was glorious. We saw them in the dead center of the ring with like 17 teams remaining here in map number